What if I told you Samsung's upcoming Galaxy S26 Edge is getting a bigger battery, but not the breakthrough upgrade everyone was hoping for? That's right, despite months of speculation about futuristic silicon-carbon batteries, Samsung is sticking with good old lithium-ion. But here's the twist. Even without the new tech, the S26 Edge still manages a surprisingly solid upgrade that could make it one of the most interesting phones in Samsung's lineup next year. So, let's break it down. The Galaxy S25 Edge, sleek as it was, left a lot of people frustrated with its tiny 3900 mAh battery. For a premium flagship, that just wasn't cutting it. Enter the S26 Edge. Thanks to a fresh listing spotted in China's 3C regulatory database, we now know the new battery is rated at just over 4000 mAh. Officially, Samsung will likely market it as 4200 mAh. That's not a massive jump on paper, but in real-world use, that extra capacity could be the difference between nervously searching for a charger at dinner and actually making it through the night. Now, why does this matter? Because Samsung's Edge series isn't about brute force or battery dominance. It's about being ultra-thin, lightweight, and stylish. The S26 Edge is rumored to replace the Plus model entirely, taking the spotlight as Samsung's slim flagship in early 2026. If you've ever held one of these Edge phones, you know the trade-off. Beautiful design, but battery anxiety is always lurking in the background. So even though Samsung hasn't leapt into next-gen battery tech, squeezing in an extra 300 plus milliamp hours without making the phone thicker is actually impressive. And speaking of thin, let's talk about the competition. Apple is expected to counter with the iPhone 17 Air, rumored to be an absurd 5.5 millimeters thin. That's thinner than most wallets. But here's the catch. Apple might ship it with just a 2900 milliamp hour battery. Yes, you heard that right, 2900. Apple is banking on iOS 26 and its AI-driven power management to make that tiny cell last a full day. If it works, it'll be a software miracle. But in raw numbers, Samsung's 4200 milliamp hours looks enormous by comparison. And it's not just about battery size. The S26 Edge is also expected to run on Qualcomm's next powerhouse chip, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Pair that with Samsung's rumored design tweaks, shaving up to 0.3 millimeters off the frame, and you've got a phone that's just as thin as Apple's offering, but with way more endurance under the hood. If Samsung pulls that off, it won't just be an upgrade over the S25 Edge, it'll be a statement that thin phones don't always have to mean tiny batteries. But here's where it gets interesting though. I'll be honest, I'm not personally sold on the whole slim at all costs smartphone trend. Phones today are already pocket-friendly, and I'd rather have a thicker device with 2-day battery life than one that looks pretty but dies by dinner. But if the rumors are accurate, Samsung might have found the sweet spot, keeping the phone slim without forcing users to sacrifice practicality. It's not a revolution, but it's a refinement that a lot of people will appreciate. And let's be real, for most users, going from 3900 to 4200 milliamp hours is the kind of upgrade you actually feel. It won't suddenly make the S26 Edge a battery monster, but it will make it far less stressful to use. Combine that with the efficiency gains from Snapdragon's latest chip and Samsung's software optimization, and this phone could hold its own against the most extreme competition. So, here's the takeaway. No, you're not getting the sci-fi silicon carbon battery yet. That's still off the table. But you are getting a slim flagship with a noticeably bigger battery, cutting-edge performance, and design that rivals Apple's thinnest phone yet. Sometimes progress isn't about huge leaps. It's about fixing the small annoyances that make a daily difference. And if Samsung delivers on this, the Galaxy S26 Edge could quietly become one of the most impressive devices in the lineup, even without the futuristic battery tech. Would I buy one? Personally, I'd still lean towards a phone with a bigger battery overall, but I can see why the S26 Edge will be tempting for people who want style and performance without the constant battery trade-off. And honestly, that 4200 milliamp hour number makes it way more appealing than last year's model. In short, Samsung may not have given us the breakthrough we wanted, but they might have given us something more important, a phone that actually balances design and usability. And that's a win worth paying attention to. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.